Dino Crisis is just arriving on the PlayStation Plus Classics game catalog this October, and over the past few days I've been scouting the Dino Crisis subreddit to observe the audience reaction and see if there is any news about a potential remake, especially since Capcom has completed almost all of its old school Resident Evil remakes already. That's when I stumbled upon something that initially did not surprise me. I thought it was a fan-made trailer or a project that would never come to life due to its scope or copyright issues as usual. But to my surprise, the following fan project is not just a teaser but a playable full Dino Crisis fan-made remake created in Unreal Engine. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dino Crisis Rebirth, which has since been rebranded as Project Crisis, presumably due to copyright concerns already. As the solo developer mentions on the itch.io game page, this project is purely inspired by the original game, but it does not represent a full remake. I'm a big fan of the first Dino Crisis game. I tried to convey all the atmosphere and horror of the original in a modernized fashion. So yes, I may have exaggerated a bit. Project Crisis is not a one-to-one remake of Dino Crisis, but rather a highlight reel of the original game, but in the same time well dressed up in a modern guise. For example, we get a really cool intro that almost reproduces the original game's intro. We get to watch this time Regina researching on a computer featuring Dr. Kirk. And wow, look at that! Regina has a hand, an actual hand with fingers instead of a PlayStation 1 block hand, along with nice red nails to match her hair. Just crazy. Then we dive into the mission right away with the chopper and the strike team, although it seems only Regina and Gale go on the mission in this remake, dropping us into an alternate universe. Yes, it truly does not represent a full remake. But I stopped you right there, don't worry, the main thing is in the intro, the T-Rex is there and it attacks, and as a good remake should do with a twist, almost out of nowhere.
That's disgusting.
However, I must sadly inform everyone that this time Gale will be the one who draws the shortest straw. After that, we take control of Regina in a third-person shooter setting. We can move using the WASD keys and the mouse. Aiming is done with the right mouse button and shooting with the left one. It's pretty simple. Sad or not, joypad support is not available, at least at the moment. I don't see any major issues with the controls, especially since I don't want to be too harsh on a game that someone made all on their own while aiming for a AAA quality. And heck, they aren't even charging for it, so for me the only off-putting thing might be that the running animation feels a bit slow and clunky, but this won't cause any balancing issues in the combat system later, so that's all fine as well. But before we move on, I need to check something and compare it to the original game. Just a moment.
Hold on to your butts.
The introduction part of the game serves well as a demo, introducing us to the core game mechanics, searching for keycards, pulling levers and opening locked doors. This is what we will be dealing with basically alongside this small amount of combat for about the remaining hour of gameplay. Again, keep in mind, this is rather a highlight reel of the original game. What immediately stands out is the graphics and the atmosphere. It might be a combination of basic Unreal Engine assets, but even if it is, it's very well executed. The game wraps Ibis Island in a fresh coat, capturing the original atmosphere while allowing for creative freedom. This island features tropical vegetation, metallic fences, a retro-futuristic environment, and a heavy downpour this time, presumably borrowed from Jurassic Park. Very appropriately, I might add. The facility is characterized by narrow, dark, claustrophobic corridors, and even though if the assets repeat themselves, well, to be fair, in any office there are about 500 identical monitors and desks and chairs, so I guess that's not a problem, and even it could be realistic. But even despite all that, all this creates an atmosphere that allows things like such to happen and have an impact. Sure, the beginning of the game is essentially a walking simulator. The Velociraptor enemy is introduced early on, which we are trying to escape from and also evade. increasing the tension and allowing the game developer to showcase various situations that could serve as an inspiration for a so-called Capcom company, and also examples that particular dinosaur situations still could be considered crisis situations. Later on, we also engage in combat with the raptors, although that won't be as satisfying as it was foreshadowed, but we also need to draw the line here because Project Crisis is essentially a tech demo, a demonstration, a free marketing, also just a proof for Capcom so they can see how many people would be interested in a Dino Crisis remake. By the way, besides the raptors, we also encounter Compies, a Therizinosaurus, and the massive T-Rex itself. In fact, I almost forgot, the Pteranodon is also making a cameo just for the sake of a cutscene. So, the environment is set, already looking incredible here in this fan project. But just imagine if Ibis Island was designed with the level of detail Resident Evil 4 Remake was. In fact, how many dinosaur enemies are there in the game? About 5? Just imagine that in exchange for the limited number of enemies, we would get a raptor that's quick and attacks from ambush, smart enough to open doors or set traps, agile and able to dodge gunshots, maybe even swiping a monitor at us with its tail to knock our weapon away. Elements like this were present in the original game already, but just imagine that with today's technology, the sky is the limit basically. Not to mention the other dinosaurs. Imagine a few Compies running away from you, but at certain points they start gathering in flocks and soon dozens would attack. And if too many leap at Regina, she would be knocked down, resulting in a game over. The T-Rex could also be more than just 3 boss fights as well. There could be additional open areas where we could hear the dinosaurs' menacing roar in the distance or feeling the ground shaking, and perhaps if you make too much noise in these open areas, it could emerge from the jungle, sort of like a semi-stalker in Nemesis style. The Pteranodon and Therizinosaurus could also receive similar overhauls. So much could be done with so little. As for the story, we could leave as it is. There is nothing wrong with the first game story in my opinion, but perhaps if we get to the third game eventually, the story could go other directions maybe. And by the way, I have no issue with the core gameplay either in Dino Crisis 1, including the plethora of passwords, keycards and codes, because it's just more realistic compared to the puzzles in Resident Evil facilities. Like, just imagine a day of a scientist who worked in the Spencer Mansion's laboratory. Does he have to go through all the puzzles every single morning?
Please! God damn it! I hate this hacker crap!
But also Dino Crisis is about time travel and dinosaurs, so I'm also open to anything when it comes to puzzles. Just imagine the very focused, concise, polished remake that could come out of this, featuring plenty of unlockables, alternative endings, and even more decision points where we could take the story in other directions. And if we are dreaming already, then along with a randomizer and an arena mode providing tons of replay value. Oh, I'm gonna be too far I guess with the daydreaming here, but that means Project Zero has made its impact on me and served its purpose. And now I'm sad. I don't usually ask for anything, but anyone watching this video, please spam Capcom with the original Project Zero trailer video. Capcom will probably have the game taken down if they see it, but in this case it's not about the game, it's about the message. I was Gabe, and I catch you in the next one. Until then, keep gaming.